Hello, welcome to today's episode. So what we're going to be talking about today is, you have to service your RV hot water heater. This is what we're looking at right here. This is from the access to your hot water heater from the outside of the RV, and it requires servicing. So whether you're going to go ahead and winterize it or drain it, you need to pull the plug. And some of them, they have an anode rod, whether you have a Dometic or Atwood. Some have anode rods in there that you'd pull out, which would then drain the tank, hot water tank. But other ones, like this Dometic, have these little plugs, these little plastic plugs that you can see here that go into the drain port, which is located right here. So the issue with these is these plugs are made of plastic, as I said. And as you can see on this one, if you see around the tip of that, it's starting to get worn. So basically what happens is with these particular water heaters, it's very difficult to get to this drain because of its location. It's located behind the gas line. And when you try to get back there, you can't use a socket, a ratchet and a socket, because of where it's located. So most of the time you're going to use an open end. It's a 15/16 fitting, and you'll put it on there and you use it and you'll unscrew it to drain the water. But as you can see, when you're trying to get the wrench back there, it's difficult. It's awkward, and you risk damaging the heat shield. You miss damaging the plastic plug itself, winding it out, stripping the threads when you go to put it back in and putting it back in and removing it. So there's a hack out there where you can actually install a permanent drain port with a valve, and so that's what I'm going to kind of show you today how to do. Install that permanent valve. You're going to need some tools in order to get this done, but the things you're going to need is, so the first thing you're going to need is a 1/2 inch to 1/2 inch this MNPT fitting. I'm using a Shark Bite one right here. You can pick up from your home store, or I could put a link down below for it. That's what it looks like. It's brass. That's what's going to screw into the hot water heater. You're going to need a piece of PEX tubing, plastic tubing. You can use a version or a rubber hose with a barbed fitting, and then what you would do is you would put the hose on and then put a clamp on it, and then clamp that down with the screw. But the clamp it makes things awkward. It's kind of bulky in this space, so I don't recommend it. So what I'm going to show you today is basically how to make this particular fitting. Like I said, you're going to go ahead and need some tools, and then the other piece you'll need is the actual valve itself that you would use to open and close for drainage. So you would never have to remove the plug again, and it would fit together something like this with your crimp fittings. Every RV owner should have a pair of, in their toolbox, should have a pair of PEX or crimps. This tool is used with the crimp itself, the clamp, to show you here, to crimp down onto the fitting. If you go ahead and look under your sink or your bathroom sink or your kitchen sink or any of your plumbing fixtures where they have valves or fittings, they're going to use these types of clamps on your RV. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and actually make this particular fitting, this hack, this tool to fit inside your drain port. So what you're going to do, very simple, is you're going to have your one end that's going to thread into the hot water heater. You're going to put on your crimp piece first. You're going to put that on first. You're going to take your fitting You're going to slide it in. And then you're going to, about an 1/8 of an inch down, you can see that, you're going to put your crimp. And then what you do is you take your crimping tool, and your crimping tool will fit right on the crimp. It'll fit right on the crimp. It's hard to kind of do this with one hand, so you guys can see it. Let me bring it down here a little bit. There you go. So you're going to go ahead and put your crimp tool on here. You're going to go ahead and put your crimp tool on here. Keep the actual clamp about an 1/8 in. You're going to put it on there, and you're going to squeeze the tool. That's going to snap back, and that is going to create your watertight fitting. Here's the clamp, here's the crimp. It's not coming off. Perfect. Now we're going to do the other end. So we'll take another crimp. We'll go ahead and push this fitting on as far as it'll go. You can see where it bottoms out. We'll go ahead and keep it an 1/8 of an inch off again. We'll put the tool on, and then we're going to go ahead and give it the crimp. So we go ahead and got that crimp done. It's on, and that is your finished piece. So now what we're going to talk about is going ahead and installing this onto the hot water heater and how that will work. So let's go ahead, and now that you have this built, we're going to go ahead and do that. So in order to, so what we've been talking about is this drain port here and installing a drain valve. This drain valve is a little different. It makes it easier to drain your hot water tank and not have to continually remove this plastic drain plug. So this one is a little different than the one I made. You have whatever practical around. This is using a faucet type valve and then as open, you can see the water coming out, the drain, the plug, but it's still the same concept, same fitting. So in order to install this, what you're going to do is it's very simple. You would take out you would drain your water system, make sure your water shut off, make sure your hot water heater shut off, make sure all that's taken care of. Drain your hot water tank down, and you're gonna, when you pull out this plug, so the plug's gonna come out, and then all you're gonna basically do is very simple, is you're gonna take this one and you're just going to thread this one in here. Make sure that on the end you put some Teflon tape around this, just like you can see that's installed on this one, on this brass fitting. You're going to go ahead and then screw it in. So you don't have to over tighten it. You just want to make sure it's tight enough. You don't want to strip anything. And then once it's in, you can go ahead and make sure the valve is closed, and you will be good to go. And that's basically how you do this hack for your hot water heater drain valve. I appreciate you watching. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thank you.